prestigious Boston hospital, symbol of modern medicine, faces an unexpected storm. Caroline Leavitt, the sharp White House press secretary, arrives to manage President Trump's event, but clashes with Dr. Jonathan Kessler, the powerful liberal chief of staff. An anonymous email reveals a dark secret. Millions in charity funds vanished under Kessler's watch. Tensions escalate, and Kessler publicly humiliates Caroline in front of her husband, Nicholas Riccio, and dozens of cameras. Just 7 minutes later, Caroline strikes back. With support from unlikely allies, she exposes the truth, shaking the corrupt system and bringing the hospital to its knees in an instant. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. The hospital corridor in Boston glows with bright lights, but the air feels heavy, like before a storm. Caroline Leavitt strides confidently in a navy suit, crisp trousers, a pristine white shirt, her hair tied high. Before diving in, she closes her eyes, whispering a short prayer, her Catholic faith an anchor amid pressure. Today, Leavitt is here to run a press conference for President Trump's event announcing a policy to audit federal healthcare funds. But she senses hostility the moment she steps inside. A tall man with salt and pepper hair approaches, his white coat fluttering, Dr. Jonathan Kessler, chief of staff. A familiar face on TV, always preaching universal healthcare and slamming Trump's administration as anti-science. "Leavitt," Kessler says, voice dripping with sarcasm, his smile not reaching his eyes. "Spokesperson for an administration that loves wrecking healthcare, right?" Leavitt keeps a calm smile, her gaze sharp. "I'm here to ensure the truth, doctor. That's what the public needs." Kessler smirks, his eyes betraying contempt. "The truth? You and Trump wouldn't know how to spell it." He turns away, leaving Leavitt in the corridor, her hands clenching. She's used to facing off with liberal media, but Kessler feels more dangerous. Checking the White House's public email on her phone, an anonymous message pops up. Kessler embezzled charity funds. Check the management office's financial records. The sender claims to be a hospital employee, hiding their name out of fear of Kessler's power. Leavitt frowns, her heart racing. Caroline Leavitt stands in the hospital corridor, her sharp gaze scanning the bustling crowd. After her run-in with Dr. Jonathan Kessler, she feels his hostility clearly. A liberal doctor always on TV, criticizing Trump's administration and praising equitable health care. But the anonymous email she received suggests the opposite. Kessler embezzled charity funds. As White House press secretary, Caroline's job is to manage Trump's press event, but she can't ignore the chance to expose hypocrisy. She moves through the patient area, her earpiece buzzing with the White House media team checking equipment for the press conference. But something odd stops her. On one side, the VIP section gleams, clean, modern, screens sparkling. On the other, the uninsured patients area is dim, walls stained, machines whining like they're about to break. An elderly woman sits on a plastic chair, her tired eyes weighing on Caroline's heart. She notes on her phone, charity funds were meant for these people. If Kessler really took the money, this isn't just a scandal, it's a betrayal. Near the nursing station, a young nurse with blonde hair tied high approaches, her face anxious. "Miss Leavitt," she whispers, glancing around. "I'm Sarah. Been here 3 years. I have to tell you something." Caroline leans in, her voice low to reassure. "Go ahead, Sarah." Sarah swallows hard, hands trembling. Kessler controls everything. The charity fund for poor patients, it doesn't reach them. I saw him order money moved elsewhere. Anyone who questions gets threatened with firing. Caroline feels her blood heat up. Sarah's words are the first piece confirming her suspicions. She gently squeezes Sarah's hand. "You're very brave. I'll find proof. Stay safe, okay?" Sarah nods, hurrying back to work when a colleague calls. Caroline keeps moving, each step echoing like a declaration of war. She didn't come to play hero, but Kessler won't escape if he thinks he can hide crimes under a progressive mask. Passing the administrative area, she notices a small office door ajar, dim light from a desk lamp. On a shelf sits a thick folder labeled Charity Fund Internal. Her heart pounds, this could be the key. She steps inside, her heels clicking softly. Flipping through pages, a handwritten note stops her cold. Transfer $500,000 to reserve fund. J. Kessler. The scrawled signature is unmistakable. She pulls out her phone, snapping photos of each page, fingers moving fast like she's racing time. But as she prepares to leave, a cold voice cuts through. Miss Leavitt, what are you doing here? Kessler stands at the door, white coat pristine, eyes sharp as a blade. Caroline pockets her phone, flashing a calm smile. Checking the press conference venue, doctor. Making sure nothing embarrasses the president. Kessler steps closer, his voice laced with menace. You should know your limits. Too much curiosity will cost you. Caroline meets his gaze, unflinching. I'm doing my job, Kessler. Bringing the truth to light. She steps out, feeling his stare like a shadow. Back in the main lobby, the media team sets up the podium, camera flashes flickering. But Caroline can't shake the sense of being watched. She checks her phone, an internal White House message. Kessler demands you face the press now on healthcare policy. She spots the trap. Kessler wants her to stumble before Trump's broadcast. She takes a deep breath, stands tall, ready to fight. The small meeting room is packed with reporters, cameras locked on her. A journalist, clearly prepped by Kessler, fires off. Miss Leavitt, Trump's cutting healthcare budgets. How dare you talk about patient care? Caroline smiles, her voice like steel cutting. No, we're auditing to ensure funds reach the right people. Not pocketed by someone. She emphasizes the last word, her eyes flicking to Kessler in the corner. The reporters fall silent. The crowd murmurs. Caroline knows she hit a nerve. But as she leaves, Kessler blocks her path, voice low with fury. Think you're clever, huh? You don't know who you're messing with. Caroline tilts her head, smiling coldly. I know exactly, Kessler. And I'm not scared. Caroline Leavitt moves on, her earpiece still buzzing with the White House media team, prepping for Trump's event. Dr. Jonathan Kessler's threat echoes in her mind. You don't know who you're messing with. But Caroline, White House press secretary at 27, is no stranger to self-styled progressives. Like Kessler, he may fool TV with his equitable healthcare tune, but she's seen proof, a handwritten note, $500,000 in charity funds funneled to a shady account. She grips her phone, holding those document photos, feeling like she's clutching an unignited bomb. The hospital corridor hums with machines and voices blending. Caroline heads to the press conference area, her eyes missing nothing. She spots an admin worker, face tense, glancing at her as they pass. The anonymous email sender. She memorizes the face, planning to approach later. For now, she must keep things tight. Trump's press conference can't have flaws. Reaching the main lobby, camera flashes pulse the air, electric like before a battle. Suddenly, a familiar nurse appears, Sarah, who spilled on Kessler. Sarah pulls Caroline to a quiet corner, voice shaky. Miss Leavitt, I overheard Kessler tell a manager. You're causing trouble. He's planning something before the event. Caroline grips Sarah's hand, eyes reassuring. Thanks for the heads up. He can try, but I don't break easy. Sarah presses her lips, then hands Caroline a folded paper. I got this from the finance office. It's about the money. Caroline unfolds it, seeing a printed receipt. Transfer, $200,000 Auxiliary Reserve Fund, J. Kessler. Another piece. She tucks it away, nodding to Sarah. Keep this quiet. I'll handle the rest. But as Sarah leaves, a sharp voice cuts in behind. Miss Leavitt. Busy as ever. Kessler stands there, white coat fluttering, eyes like they'd pierce her. Caroline turns, a calm smile masking her racing pulse. Just doing my job, doctor. Ensuring the president's event goes smoothly. Kessler steps closer, voice heavy with implication. You don't belong here. A young girl playing politics in my hospital. You'll regret it. Caroline tilts her head, eyes locked on his. Your hospital? Or your charity fund? Kessler freezes, just a second, but enough for Caroline to know she struck a nerve. He stalks off, but Caroline senses the storm brewing. She returns to the lobby, checking her earpiece, syncing with the media team. Minutes later, a hospital staffer, face stone cold, approaches. Miss Leavitt, Dr. Kessler invites you to an internal meeting now. About the event. Caroline sees the bigger trap. Kessler doesn't just want her flustered. He wants her crushed before Trump speaks. She nods, smiling icily. Lead the way. The internal meeting room is packed, not just hospital staff, but local reporters. Clearly Kessler's doing. He stands at the table's head, a fake smile plastered on. Miss Leavitt, thanks for joining. We'd love to discuss how Trump's administration plans to audit healthcare funds, as you put it. Care to clarify? The room feels stifling, all eyes on her, waiting for a misstep. Caroline stands tall, voice ringing clear. Gladly, doctor. But first, Can you explain why the hospital's charity fund is short while poor patients go uncared for? The room goes dead silent. Kessler grips the table's edge, face reddening. You're slandering, he snaps. But Caroline doesn't stop. Slander? I have proof, Kessler. Documents. Signatures. Transfers. Want me to share now? She doesn't pull out her phone. Not yet, but her words cut like a blade. Reporters murmur. Cameras roll. Kessler tries to steady himself, voice trembling. You've got nothing. This is Trump's dirty politics. But Caroline just smiles. If it's dirty, why are you scared? A manager jumps up, trying to diffuse. Let's focus on the event. But no one listens. Staff whisper, eyes darting between Kessler and Caroline. She walks out, feeling like she lit an unstoppable fire. But Kessler doesn't let her go easy. He follows, cornering her in the corridor, voice low with rage. You just made a big mistake, Leavitt. I'll make sure you never set foot here again. Caroline stares him down, unflinching. Try it, Kessler. But the truth doesn't bury easy. She turns away, heart pounding, but steps firm. Back in the main lobby, the media team finalizes the podium. Flashes sparking like a chaotic dance. She checks her phone, seeing a White House colleague's text. Be careful. Kessler's tied to liberal media. He'll hit back. Caroline clenches her hand, feeling like she's on a volcano's edge. She didn't come to start a war, but Kessler chose this path. And she won't stop. Caroline Leavitt leaves the hospital, Boston city lights flickering outside the car window. Her showdown with Dr. Jonathan Kessler in the internal meeting still burns in her mind. She challenged him before staff and press, throwing suspicion on the embezzled charity funds. $500,000 in documents, plus $200,000 from Sarah's receipt. Kessler, with his liberal veneer and equitable health care song, showed panic when she mentioned proof. But Caroline knows he won't stop. A reporter's warning, Kessler's planning a hit at Trump's event, hangs like a dangling blade. She heads to the hotel, where she and her husband Nicholas Riccio stay for this work trip. Their New Hampshire home is too far, and with the White House press secretary's packed schedule, a hotel is the only place they can meet amid the chaos. Caroline steps into the elevator, fingers grazing her phone, checking media team messages. Nothing new, but the hospital's watched feeling lingers. She breathes deep, telling herself to stay steady, like every high-pressure moment before. The hotel room door opens. Riccio standing there, gray suit jacket off, eyes gentle but worried. At 59, he's Caroline's rock, despite scrutiny over their age gap. Caroline, he says, voice low, pulling her into his arms. You okay? You look like you walked out of a war zone. She smiles wearily, sinking onto the sofa, a rare sense of safety in the storm. Close enough, Nick. Kessler's not just a liberal doctor in a moral cloak. He's hiding hundreds of thousands from the charity fund. Riccio frowns, sitting beside her, hand resting lightly on hers. You have proof? Caroline nods, opening her phone, showing him the document photos and receipt, transfers, signatures, all Kessler's name. But he's got ties to liberal media. If I go public now, they'll twist it. Call me a political attacker. Riccio squeezes her hand, eyes pensive. He doesn't know who you are, Caroline. You faced down media mobs in Trump's campaign. But this time, be careful. Kessler could be dangerous. Caroline looks at him, feeling warmth from the husband always at her back. Dangerous or not, I can't let him go on. Poor patients are paying for his scam. Riccio nods, but his voice drops, laced with worry. I know you don't back down. But I've got info too. He pulls out his phone, opening an email from a business partner. The healthcare group owning the hospital. I've got a small stake in it. If Kessler's really embezzling, it's not just the hospital's name, it's mine too. The revelation stops Caroline. She stands, crossing to the window overlooking the city. Then I've got more reason to act, Nick. Not just for the truth, but for us. She turns back, eyes resolute. But I need airtight proof before going public. Sarah the nurse is helping me. She's risking a lot. Riccio rises, his gaze now mixed with resolve. If you need me to do anything, reach out to shareholders, apply pressure, just say it. I won't let you fight alone. Just then, Caroline's phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Stop, Liam. You don't know what you're up against. She shows Riccio, heart racing. Kessler, she whispers. Or someone working for him. Riccio grips her hand tighter. They're scared, Caroline. That means you're on the right track. She nods, a fire flaring inside. Threats aren't new. From campaign days, the press called her a young opportunist. But now she has Riccio. And the truth. Caroline sits back, opens her laptop, and reviews notes for the press conference. I have to prepare for Trump's event. Kessler won't dare attack directly with the president here. But I need to be ready for anything. Riccio nods, handing her a water bottle. You need a break. You're right, she says, her voice softening. But I won't let Kessler win. Ever. She stands, adjusts her earpiece, and makes a quick call to the media team. Check every corner of the hospital before the event. No mistakes. As she hangs up, Riccio looks at her, his eyes a mix of pride and worry. Caroline Leavitt sits in the Boston hotel room, city lights flickering through the window. Her talk with Nicholas Riccio still haunts her. The threatening text from an unknown sender. His stake in the healthcare group owning the hospital. And his promise to step in if things spiral. But Caroline, White House press secretary at 27, doesn't wait for rescue. She has evidence against Dr. Jonathan Kessler. $500,000 and $200,000 in charity funds illegally transferred. His signature clear. After publicly challenging Kessler in the internal meeting, she knows he's plotting retaliation. Before Trump's event, she needs more firepower to take him down, and fast. She opens her laptop, reviewing photos of hospital documents. The numbers tell a clear story. Charity money never reached poor patients. But to make Kessler undeniable, she needs heavier proof, something even his liberal media allies can't twist. As she prepares to call the media team, her phone buzzes. An internal hospital email from a shared account reads, "Meet me 6 a.m. East parking lot." More info. Caroline knows it's Sarah, the nurse risking everything to expose Kessler's wrongs. She replies briefly, "I'll be there. Stay safe." She clenches her fist, feeling like she's at the starting line. The sky is still dark when Caroline reaches the hospital's east parking lot. Boston's air biting cold. She stands in the shadows near a truck, eyes scanning to ensure she's not followed. Sarah appears, hood up, clutching a thin envelope. "Miss Leavitt," Sarah whispers, voice trembling. "I got this from the finance office. Safe. Bank statements showing Kessler moved another $300,000 to an offshore account. If he finds out I took it." Caroline puts a hand on Sarah's shoulder, eyes steady. "You're braver than you know. I'll make sure no one hurts you." Sarah hands over the envelope, eyes glinting with hope. "Do it for the patients, Miss Leavitt." Then she hurries off, vanishing behind the cars. Caroline opens the envelope, scanning the statements. $300,000 transfer. Offshore account. Note reading, Kessler Private Project. She tucks the papers away, feeling like she's holding a dagger. But the stakes just skyrocketed. If Kessler discovers Sarah, they're both in trouble. She backs up the statements to her phone, sending them via encrypted channel to a White House colleague with a note. "Verify ASAP. Keep it quiet." She doesn't want to act rashly. One misstep could let Kessler turn the tables. Back at the hospital, Caroline blends into the crowd prepping for Trump's event. The main lobby glows with lights, microphones buzzing as the media team tests sound. But she notices a tall security guard lingering near the entrance. Kessler's man. She memorizes his face, keeping her distance as she reaches the administrative area to check the podium. Hushed voices from an office stop her. Kessler's voice tense. She can't ruin the event. Find a way to stop her. Got it. Caroline presses against the door, recording on her phone. Another voice replies, "Documents are missing. Could be someone in finance." Kessler curses. "Find them. Now." Caroline stops recording, slipping back before she's spotted. The audio isn't direct evidence, but it shows Kessler's panic, exactly what she needs. She pockets her phone, heart pounding but mind clear. As she returns to the lobby, a hospital staffer blocks her, voice flat. "Miss Leavitt, Dr. Kessler wants you to review the press conference script. He says there's an issue." Caroline smiles coldly, seeing the trap. "Tell him the script's perfect. I don't like wasting time." The staffer hesitates, then leaves. Kessler's trying to rattle her, but she's one step ahead. She checks her earpiece, calling the media team. "How's security footage?" "Double-check the podium area." The team leader replies vaguely. "Saw a stranger nearby. Maybe press. But be careful." Caroline nods, sensing the rising threat. She opens her laptop, reviewing Sarah's statements, ensuring everything's secure. If Kessler wants to play dirty, she'll stay ahead. Her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. "Stop. Leavitt, or you'll regret it." She breathes deeply, ignoring it. Instead, she texts Rakio, Kessler's pushing harder. Be ready if I need you to act. Rakio replies instantly. Always ready. Stay strong. Caroline Leavitt stands in the hospital's main lobby. Press camera flashes sparking like a small storm. Trump's event, announcing the healthcare fund audit policy, is hours away. And she, White House press secretary, must ensure perfection. But in her mind, the pieces against Dr. Jonathan Kessler swirl. $300,000 offshore transfer statements. His panicked audio about missing documents. Plus the prior $500,000 and $200,000 embezzled charity funds. Kessler, with his liberal veneer and TV speeches, is scared. She can feel it. But the latest threat, stop Leavitt or you'll regret it, shows he's not giving up. She checks her earpiece, voice sharp as she directs the media. Team, move the left camera 2 meters. Brighter lights on the podium. The team leader nods, but his eyes waver. Leavitt, we spotted a stranger near the tech area. Not sure if it's press or what. Caroline nods, keeping cool. Keep them in sight. Alert me if anything's off. She knows Kessler could be behind it. He's tried traps with reporters, threats, and now maybe something bigger. She crosses the lobby, eyes scanning like radar. Reporters huddle in a corner, whispering about Trump and healthcare policy. Some glance at her, curious and skeptical. She's used to it. Liberal media always wait for her to slip. But today, she's not just guarding Trump's image, she's holding a web of evidence against Kessler. She checks her phone, seeing a message from a White House colleague. $300,000 statements verified. Offshore account ties to a shell company. Need more time to trace. Caroline smiles faintly, one step closer to the truth. But as she reaches the backstage area, a hospital staffer, face taut, blocks her. Miss Leavitt, Dr. Kessler wants to see you now about event scheduling. Caroline spots the familiar trap. Kessler wants her distracted, dragged into a pointless argument before Trump arrives. She tilts her head, voice icy. Schedule's set. Tell him to focus on his own work. The staffer falters, then leaves. She knows Kessler's desperate, and that makes her more vigilant. She heads to the podium area, where the media team finalizes lighting. But a detail stops her. A spare microphone, not in the plan, sits off-center on the podium. She checks its wiring, finding it linked to a small device, like a recorder. Her heart races. Someone wants to eavesdrop on the press conference, or worse, sabotage it. She removes the device, handing it to the team leader. Check this. Now. Find out who placed it. The leader nods, face paling. Caroline knows Kessler could be behind it. He spoke of stopping her in the audio. She steps into the corridor, needing space to think. Her phone buzzes. A text from Sarah, the whistleblower nurse who risked giving her the statements. Tesla's asking about me. I'm scared, Miss Leavitt. Caroline replies instantly. Stay quiet, Sarah. I'll protect you. She feels the weight of responsibility. Sarah's not just a source, but someone trusting her. She texts Rayo again. Things are heating up. Might need you to pressure shareholders soon. Rakio responds fast. Just say when. I'm watching. She smiles, bolstered by her husband, her steady wall. But as she returns to the lobby, a familiar reporter, cozy with Kessler, approaches. Miss Leavitt, word is you're stirring trouble at the hospital. True. You're accusing Kessler? Caroline keeps a professional smile, eyes like blades. Accusing? I'm asking if Kessler's clean. Why is he worried? The reporter falls silent, caught off guard by her bluntness. She knows Kessler's spreading rumors, trying to paint her as a wrecker before the event. But she won't let him control the narrative. She reviews her press conference notes, ensuring every answer for Trump is razor sharp, no gaps. But that security guard, she saw him lurking earlier, reappears near the podium, holding a small box. She signals the media team to watch, then approaches, voice calm but firm. What are you doing? The man startles, muttering about checking equipment, then leaves. Caroline doesn't buy it. Kessler's trying every angle to break her. The hospital's main lobby pulses with light, press cameras flashing like fireworks. Trump's event, announcing the health care fund audit policy, has turned the place into a media arena. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, stands near the podium, her earpiece alive with the media team confirming positions. She holds hard evidence against Dr. Jonathan Kessler. $300,000 offshore transfer statements, his panicked audio, plus $500,000 and $200,000 in embezzled charity funds. But in the past hours, Kessler spread rumors, planted strange devices, and sent threats. Stop Leavitt or you'll regret it. She knows he'll strike today, and she's ready. The crowd of donors, officials, and press packs the lobby. Trump hasn't arrived, but the air's already charged. Caroline checks her notes, ensuring every press conference answer is razor sharp. She glances at her husband Nicholas Riccio near the entrance. His gray suit fits sharp, and he nods faintly, eyes mixing worry and trust. Riccio's here for logistical support on this Boston trip, but now he's her anchor in the storm, Kessler's brood. She flashes a small smile, feeling bolstered, then dives back into work. But as she adjusts the mic, Kessler appears, white coat fluttering, a fake smile plastered on. He steps onto the podium before the speeches start, his voice booming through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, before the president arrives, I'd like a few words. Caroline frowns, unease rising. Kessler isn't on the speaking schedule. She signals the media team, but he's already got the mic. Our hospital prides itself on equitable healthcare, Kessler begins, his eyes sliding to her. But sadly, some people want to sabotage that effort with dirty political games. The crowd murmurs, cameras locked on Caroline. She clenches her fist, realizing he's targeting her. Kessler presses on, voice sharp as a knife. Miss Caroline Leavitt, Trump's press secretary, has spread baseless rumors about the hospital's finances. A young, inexperienced girl thinking she can smear me for her conservative administration. The lobby falls silent, all eyes on Caroline. Riccio, from the corner, grips his hands, eyes blazing with anger. Caroline feels her pulse quicken but keeps her composure, her gaze fixed on Kessler. He sneers, pointing straight at her before dozens of cameras. You want the truth, Leavitt? The truth is, you're just Trump's puppet, wrecking healthcare for political gain. Murmurs spread. Some donors shake their heads. Reporters record frantically. Caroline steps forward, refusing to let Kessler dominate. She grabs the spare mic, her voice ringing clear and sharp. If I'm a puppet, doctor, why are you scared of my questions? Like, where did the $300,000 charity fund go? Or the $500,000 before that? The crowd gasps. Kessler's face reddens, but he shouts back. You're slandering. There's no proof. Caroline smiles coldly, not pulling out her phone, not yet. Proof? I have what you don't want the public to see, Kessler. She pauses, letting her words sink into the crowd. Riccio from afar nods faintly, his eyes saying keep going. But Kessler doesn't back down. He steps closer, voice low but caught by the mic. You'll regret coming here, Leavitt. You and your failed administration. The public insult, in front of Riccio. In front of the press is his final blow. The crowd holds its breath, cameras zooming in. Caroline stares straight at Kessler, unflinching. Regret. I don't regret asking for the poor patients you've abandoned. She turns to the crowd, voice strong. President Trump's policy ensures health care funds reach the right place, not the pockets of hypocrites. Scattered applause rises, but liberal reporters start jeering, just as Kessler wanted. He smirks, leaving the podium, thinking he's won. Caroline returns to her spot, heart pounding but mind clear. She signals the media team to keep prepping, but her eyes stay on Kessler, now talking to a group of reporters. She knows he's spreading more rumors, trying to paint her as a saboteur before Trump speaks. Riccio approaches, voice low with anger. He's gone too far, Caroline. I can call the shareholders now. She grabs his hand, shaking her head. Not yet, Nick. I need the perfect moment. He thinks I'll back off, but I'll hit harder. She checks her phone, seeing a text from Sarah. Kessler's asking about documents. I'm scared. They suspect me. Caroline replies instantly. Stay quiet, Sarah. I'll handle it. She feels the weight of responsibility, not just for the truth, but for people like Sarah who trust her. She texts a White House colleague. Be ready to release statements if needed. Wait for my signal. She knows going public now could spark chaos, but staying silent is risky too. The lobby grows packed, Trump's arrival imminent. Caroline adjusts her earpiece, giving the media team final orders. But a familiar reporter close to Kessler approaches. Miss Leavitt, you really think you can beat Kessler? He's an icon of equitable health care. Caroline smiles, voice cutting. Icon or someone hiding millions? Patients need to ask him. The reporter falls silent, stepping back. She knows each word she says is a bullet, and Kessler's feeling the heat. The hospital's main lobby trembles with murmurs, flashes slicing like blades. Dr. Jonathan Kessler's public humiliation burns in Caroline Leavitt's mind. He called her Trump's puppet, a young, inexperienced girl, before her husband Nicholas Riccio and dozens of cameras. But Caroline, White House press secretary, didn't flinch. She fired back sharply, sowing doubt about the charity funds. $300,000. $500,000. $200,000. Gone under Kessler's watch. Now, with President Trump's speech looming, she knows the moment to unveil her evidence has come. Kessler thinks he can scare her silent, but he's about to see how wrong he is. Caroline stands near the podium, her earpiece buzzing with the media team's report. President Trump arrives in 5 minutes. She checks her phone, ensuring the bank statements and Kessler's recording are safely stored. The crowd of donors, officials, and press packs the lobby, the air electric. Riccio, from the corner, watches her with a steady gaze, hands clenched like he's ready to act. She nods slightly, feeling his support amid the storm. But Kessler's eyes, meters away, cut like ice, cold and piercing. He's whispering to a group of liberal reporters, no doubt spreading more rumors to smear her. Suddenly, a text from Sarah, the whistleblower nurse, pops up. Kessler suspects me. They're searching the finance office. You have to act fast. Caroline replies instantly. Thanks, Sarah. Stay safe. I'll handle it. The pressure weighs heavy, not just for the truth, but for people like Sarah who've put their lives in her hands. She texts a White House colleague. Prepare to release the statements. Upload the video to the system now. The hospital's giant screens, meant for Trump's policy presentation, will be her weapon. As Trump enters the lobby, the crowd erupts in applause, cameras swiveling wildly. Caroline signals the media team standing by the podium to manage the press conference. After his speech, Trump speaks briefly, stressing health care fund audits to ensure money reaches those who need it. When he finishes, Caroline steps up, her voice ringing clear through the mic. Thank you, Mr. President. Now I'll take questions from the press and clarify some issues about health care funds right here at this hospital. The crowd falls silent, sensing the tension. Kessler, among the donors, goes pale. A reporter, clearly prepped by him, jumps in. Miss Leavitt, you're accusing Dr. Kessler of embezzlement. Got proof, or is this just politics? Caroline smiles, her gaze sharp. Proof? I'll show you. She signals the tech team, and the massive screen behind her lights up. A video plays, Kessler's recording. His voice panicked. Leavitt thinks she can dig into my finances. She'll never find anything. Find who took the documents, now. The crowd gasps, murmurs spreading like wildfire. Caroline continues, her voice unwavering. And here are the bank statements, verified by the White House team. The screen displays clear text. Transfer, $300,000. Offshore account, J. Kessler. She pauses, letting the truth sink in. Plus another $500,000 and $200,000. Charity funds meant for poor patients, gone. Who's behind it? Dr. Kessler. The lobby explodes in boos, donors shaking their heads, press recording frantically. Kessler storms the podium, face crimson, yelling into the mic. It's fabricated. She's slandering me for Trump. But the crowd isn't listening. A major donor stands, voice shaking with anger. If this is true, we're pulling funding. Now. Caroline locks eyes with Kessler, her gaze like a blade. If it's fake, why are you scared, doctor? She turns to the media team, ordering. Send all documents to the press. Release everything. Kessler stumbles back, hands trembling, eyes wild. He tries to justify, but the boos drown him out, cameras pinning him like a verdict. Riccio, from the corner, acts fast. He pulls out his phone, calling a partner in the healthcare group, voice low but sharp. Pull our investment from the hospital. Kessler's gone too far. Do it now. The call lasts less than a minute, but Caroline knows he's triggered a domino effect. Other shareholders watching the event via livestream will follow. She sees a text from a colleague. Markets reacting. Hospitals down 20% in 7 minutes. The financial and reputational crisis has begun, just as she predicted. Reporters swarm Kessler, his voice faltering under rapid-fire questions. Doctor, any explanation? Where'd these statements come from? He shoves a journalist, trying to flee the lobby, but security blocks him. Caroline stands on the podium, feeling like she's won a battle, but she knows the cost. Liberal media will call her a healthcare politicizer. She glances at Riccio, his eyes beaming with pride. You did it, she whispers. He grips her hand, squeezing tight. I knew you would. She returns to the mic. Voice calm. The truth isn't for debate. Patients deserve care, not to be victims of greed. Caroline Leavitt stands by the podium, press flashes hitting her like judgment. In just 7 minutes, she's torn apart Dr. Jonathan Kessler's world. The video of his panic, the $300,000 offshore transfer statements, plus the $500,000 and $200,000 embezzled charity funds, all displayed on the giant screen before donors, officials, and cameras. Kessler, once a liberal icon on TV, is now cornered by reporters, eyes wild like a trapped animal. Caroline, White House press secretary, knows she's won big, but she also senses the storm coming. Nicholas Riccio, her husband, stands near the exit, phone still at his ear. His call to partners sparked the domino effect. The hospital stock crashed 20% right after the evidence went public. A White House colleague's text confirms. The biggest donor, who stood to denounce Kessler, has withdrawn a multi-million-dollar pledge. Riccio looks at Caroline, eyes mixing pride and worry. She nods slightly, feeling his support. But there's no time to rest. The press is splitting. Half attack Kessler, the other liberals turn on her. A familiar reporter, close to Kessler, rushes up. "Miss Leavitt, you're politicizing the hospital to boost Trump. This is a personal attack, isn't it?" Caroline keeps her voice steady, eyes cutting. "Personal attack? I'm just showing the truth. Statements, recordings, money. Patients needed help. If Kessler's clean, why won't he answer?" The reporter falls silent, stepping back. But Caroline knows what they'll write. Leavitt weaponizes healthcare. She's used to those headlines. But this time, she's not just defending herself, but Sarah, the nurse who risked her life. She texts Sarah quickly, "You're safe. Kessler can't touch you anymore." A reply comes instantly, "Thank you." They just suspended him. Caroline exhales, but her heart's still heavy. Sarah handed over statements, passed envelopes, and trusted her. Now she could lose her job if Kessler's allies retaliate. Caroline texts again, "Hold strong. I'll make sure you're protected." She pockets her phone, resolved not to let Sarah become a casualty. In the lobby, chaos spreads. The hospital board holds an emergency meeting, tense voices leaking from a closed room. Kessler's escorted out by security, no longer the arrogant chief, but a broken man, yelling at reporters. This is Trump's conspiracy. But no one listens. A second donor announces they're pulling funds. A colleague's text updates. Stocks down another 15%. The hospital's nearing collapse. Caroline knows. Collapse isn't brick walls, but reputation and money. Exactly as she foresaw when Riccio acted. Riccio approaches, voice low but firm. "Caroline, I told the shareholders. They're suing the hospital for mismanagement. Kessler's got no way out." She grips his hand, feeling like she's scaled a mountain. "Thanks, Nick. But liberal media won't let me off." Riccio squeezes her hand. "Let them write what they want. The truth's on your side." She smiles, but her eyes stay vigilant. Kessler may lose his job, but his allies in the hospital and media won't let go. She turns to the media team, ordering sharply. "Send all documents to major outlets. Don't let Kessler twist the story." The team leader nods but whispers. "Miss Leavitt, rumors say some reporters are digging into your personal life, maybe from Kessler." Caroline nods, unsurprised. She's faced those tactics in Trump's campaign, called too young an opportunist, but this time she's not alone. Riccio's here. And truth is her armor. A donor, who shook his head when Kessler insulted her, approaches. "Miss Leavitt, if these numbers are true, you've saved poor patients. We want to meet you later to discuss a new fund." Caroline smiles, voice sincere. "Thank you. I just did what's right." But as he leaves, a text from an unknown number arrives. "You'll pay, Leavitt." She doesn't reply, forwarding it to White House security. Kessler's lost. But the shadows he casts still linger. A month later, the Boston hospital is no longer a battlefield of flashing lights. Caroline Leavitt sits in a hotel room, preparing to leave for the White House. Exposing Dr. Jonathan Kessler, $300,000, $500,000, $200,000 in charity funds gone, changed everything. A new board, vowing transparency, posts weekly financial reports. The poor patients area, once stained, is now repaired, new machines replacing the whining hum. Caroline reads news on her phone. Boston Hospital recovers with new donor funds. She smiles, but her heart stays heavy. Kessler was suspended right after the event, his reputation vanishing like smoke. Liberal media branded Caroline a healthcare politicizer, but donors who turned on him sent thanks. An email arrives from a major donor group. Miss Leavitt, we'd like to invite you to speak at a healthcare conference. She nods at the screen, feeling a door open. But a question lingers. Did she go too far? As press secretary, her job is managing media, not toppling a liberal doctor like Kessler. Nicholas Riccio walks in, resting a hand on her shoulder. You did right, Caroline, he says, voice warm. His gray suit swapped for a simple shirt, but his eyes stay steady, like when he watched Kessler humiliate her. She grips his hand, feeling home, despite being far from New Hampshire. Nick, I don't regret it. But what if I was wrong? What if I made things worse? Riccio tilts his head, smiling. Worse? You gave patients hope. But I know you, Caroline. You won't stop questioning yourself. She stands, crossing to the window, gazing at Boston. Riccio's right. She always questions. Truth is her guiding flame. But it burns. She thinks of Sarah, the whistleblower nurse who risked everything with those statements. A text from Sarah came this morning. I kept my job, Miss Leavitt. The new board's better. Thank you. Caroline replied. You deserve it. Stay strong. Sarah's safe now. But Caroline knows, people like her still need someone to fight. Kessler humiliated her before Riccio. But she didn't just beat him, she changed a system. The hospital's more transparent now. But Caroline knows the cost. Liberal media still attack. Kessler's allies may strike back. She opens her laptop, checking the White House schedule, prepping for the next press conference. But a thought flickers. Did she do right, or just start a bigger war? Caroline Leavitt stands in her White House office, dim light hitting her desk. A month after exposing Dr. Jonathan Kessler, Boston's hospital has revived. A transparent new board, a brighter poor patients area. But Caroline, White House press secretary, still carries the question. Did she do right, or spark a bigger war? Kessler lost everything. But the media won't let her rest. Conservative outlets hail her as a truth hero. Liberals call her a healthcare wrecker. Social media erupts with hashtags, hashtag Leavitt exposes and hashtag Kessler framed, each side spinning a different tale. She scrolls her phone, reading a new headline. Trump's press secretary stirs chaos in Boston. Benefit or politics? She clenches her hand, eyes sharp as when she faced Kessler before cameras. The media can attack, but the truth holds. Poor patients are cared for now, thanks to her and Sarah. A text from Nicholas Riccio pops up. You're stronger than they know, Caroline. She smiles, eyes softening amid the media storm. She replies, Thanks, Nick. Riccio is her shield, reminding her family is her anchor. But as she opens her laptop, articles light up with praise. Leavitt uncovers healthcare corruption with undeniable proof. Fox News writes, Young press secretary makes a system tremble. Even social media, once divided, floods with support. Hashtag Leavitt exposes becomes a symbol of truth. Caroline smiles, feeling the weight lift. She stands tall, adjusts her earpiece, and steps into the press room. In her mind, a voice echoes. Truth is worth fighting for, and I won. The flashes blaze, recognizing her as the one who changed a hospital. The story of Caroline Leavitt exposing Dr. Jonathan Kessler's wrongs at Boston's hospital reflects many facets of life in America today, especially political polarization, the media's role, and the power of individuals fighting for truth. In a modern landscape where financial scandals and power abuses regularly hit headlines, Caroline's journey, from receiving an anonymous email, finding evidence, $300,000, $500,000, $200,000 in charity funds embezzled, to facing public humiliation and revealing the truth before a crowd, shows truth can change a system, but always at a cost. Nicholas Riccio, with his support and move to pull funds, highlights the importance of partnership in big battles. Sarah, the whistleblower nurse, reminds us that even the smallest voices can make a difference if they dare speak. The media in the story, with hashtags like hashtag Leavitt exposes and hashtag Kessler framed, mirrors how social media amplifies every action, from praise to attacks, true to America's polarized reality. Lessons for real life. Dare to stand for what's right, but brace for pressure and fallout. Caroline leaned on evidence and resolve, plus allies like Riccio, showing you need a support network, family, friends, or colleagues to face challenges. Like Sarah, don't think you're too small to matter. One act, like sharing information, can spark change. But be wary of media, as Caroline faced with liberal press, in America, where opinions twist easily. Hold the truth tight, but choose your moment and method wisely, to avoid drowning in debate. Finally, as Caroline reflected in the White House, ask yourself, is this worth it? Truth is worth fighting for, but weigh the cost to yourself and those you love. Subscribe to the channel to follow Caroline Leavitt's truth-seeking journey. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video to discover what new challenge she'll face.